What's going on, Crimson Tide fans? Chris Daughtry here with the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. And coming up on today's show, we are breaking down this Week 6 SEC matchup between number 10 Alabama and number 16 Vanderbilt. Yes, I said Vanderbilt was ranked number 16. This is the first time we've had a ranked matchup between these teams since like the 1930s or something like that. I'm going with the over in this game. I don't know if either defense is going to be able to stop these opposing offenses. Alabama opened this game at about a 12.5-point favorite. There's been a little bit of shifting in the line for this one. As of this morning, filming this video anyways, Alabama was a 10.5-point favorite in this ball game this weekend. So hopefully the defense can go out there, have a day. The offense can take care of the football, go down there and score some points. I'm sure this is going to be a fun one this weekend. Make sure you guys like today's video. If you want the Crimson Tide to win this get-back game against Vanderbilt, make sure you get down there and like today's video. We have the numbers. We have the science. The more likes we get on today's video, the more points Alabama will score and the higher percent chance Alabama will have winning the game. Don't argue with me. Stats are stats. Let's get down there and like today's show. All right, the one real injury that we got to talk about for this game in terms of Alabama side anyways is Quay Russaw. He's going to be out for this game and for the foreseeable future here for Alabama. He ended up suffering a broken foot last week in that Georgia game, had to have surgery, so he's going to be out for a while. And you're also going to be missing Jamarian Latham. He's going to be out for the entirety of the rest of the season with that neck injury. So that means you're down to Wolf 3 and Wolf 4 right now on your Wolf depth chart. You have Yanze Pierre and Justin Hill are going to be those two guys that Alabama really leans on that or at that outside linebacker position. And I think Yanze Pierre, Kane Womack said it in his press conference the other day. He's just getting better and better and better as the season goes on. Justin Hill, a very highly touted freshman this season for Alabama, played a good bit during that Georgia game and did some good things during that Georgia game, although, wasn't racking up a bunch of tackles and things like that. He was really eating up some blocks, really, just helping Alabama out in terms of, eating some of those blocks so other guys could get tackles, just doing his job. That's going to be a big key thing for Alabama's defense in this game this weekend. Vanderbilt is 5-0 right now. They've started off the season at a very good note. They are scoring a lot of points. I will say this, though. They haven't necessarily played the best competition so far. The best game they've had is against number 11 South Carolina. They were number 11 at the time, and that was even the game where they ended up knocking Lenore Sellers out of that game with a concussion, and they went on at South Carolina, a very tough place to play. I even think that was a night game as well. But the rest of these teams, Charleston Southern, Virginia Tech's an okay team, Georgia State, Utah State, they're not very good. So this is going to be the toughest, game so far this season for Vanderbilt, and that doesn't mean they're not going to do very good things. We saw what happened last year against Alabama. You could not get off the field on third downs. Really, a lot of it has to do with the quarterback play. Diego Pavia last year was playing out of his mind. This year, he's playing even more out of his mind right now. You think Ty Simpson's playing well, folks? Diego Pavia is actually playing better than Ty Simpson, as crazy as that sounds right now. 75% completion percentage just about is absolutely freaking ridiculous. You go back to that 2019 season with Joe Burrow. He was like the first quarterback in college football history to throw for over 70% completion percentage. Now we're just kind of getting spoiled. A lot of guys are throwing for over 70% completion percentage now. He's also throwing the deep ball a little bit more this season. Now, he does have 3 interceptions, but, still, he's doing a really good job. He's scoring on the ground. He's getting the ball to his playmakers, and he's also does have that running ability to his arsenal as well. So this is going to be a very, very tough matchup for Alabama's defense. I want you guys to get down in the comment section at the pinned comment of today's video and predict the score to Alabama versus Vanderbilt. I'll give my score prediction at the end of today's show, but I want to hear from you guys first. Get down there and predict the score to Alabama versus Vandy. All right, so like I said, Diego Pavia is doing a better job pushing the ball downfield this year as well. Passing yards, 20 plus yards down, passing 20 plus yards down the field. He is 8 for 20 this year. That's about 40% completion percentage, which, when you're pushing the ball downfield, that's actually not that bad. He's got 4 touchdowns. A couple of those interceptions have also come on those plays where they're going deep down the field. You remember back to last year, it was that 4th down play. They just ran a goofy play, and they end up hitting an explosive play for a touchdown on 4th down. Those are going to be some of the things that you see in this game as well. And Alabama so far this year is kind of hit or miss when it comes to their defense giving up explosive plays. Versus Florida State, I'm counting explosive plays as 20-plus yard plays. If you want to count it as 15-plus yard plays, the numbers obviously are going to go up. But against Florida State, they had 4 plays over 20 yards. Did a good job against ULM, did a good job against Wisconsin. But then that Georgia game, kind of right back to the same thing. Gave up 7 plays of 20 yards or more. And I think like 4 or 5 of those were in the first half. Vanderbilt this season has 30 rushing plays for at least 10 yards through the first 5 games. That's going to be a real problem if Alabama, is giving up those runs, especially with a guy like James Smith, who's going to be out for the first half because he got ejected, following that targeting penalty in the second half of that Georgia game. So some of those guys are going to have to step up for Alabama, whether it's, they're playing more of those like 2 bandit looks or, London Simmons is in there, whatever it is. You got some young guys on the field. They have got to do their job. They've got to set the edge. They have got to keep containment because really, when teams bounce outside against Alabama, that's when they really, really get hurt. And this Vanderbilt offense right now is absolutely rolling through the first 5 games of the season. Number 4 in the country right now in total scoring offense. They're scoring 49 points per game. Rushing offense over 20 yards per game. That's 18th in the country. Passing yards, 271. That's 31st in the country. Still pretty high. Third down efficiency for them has been really, really good as well. 4th in the country at 60%. And when they're in the red zone, folks, they almost always score. Red zone touchdowns, they are 25 of 29 so far this season. That's 86% conversion rate when they're in the end zone or in the red zone scoring touchdowns. Just scoring in general, they're 28 of 29. So there's only been one time that this Vanderbilt team has been in the red zone and not either come away with a field goal or a touchdown. So hopefully Alabama can just keep them out of the red zone for one, but then if they do get in the red zone, lock them down and hopefully just hold them to a field goal. All right, we'll continue with some keys to victory here in just a second, but this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this football season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. I use Prize Picks for a ton of different types of sporting events, whether it's professional football, baseball, college basketball, college football, MMA, boxing, and so much more. Prize Picks is a ton of fun, and if you guys know ball, you can win real money all season long on Prize Picks. This is the power play that we got cooked up for this Alabama versus Vanderbilt game this weekend. Going with Diego Pavia, more than passing touchdowns. Only needs 1 passing touchdown for that one to hit. Jam Miller, I really like this one too. More than only 12.5 receiving yards. I'd like to see Alabama work those screens into this game just like they did last week against Georgia. And then Ty Simpson, more than 2.5 passing touchdowns. I think he has a very good chance to make that happen as well. That's the power play. But the good thing about Prize Picks is they also invented the flex play, which means you don't have to get every single one of your picks right. If you want flexibility, choose the flex play where you can get paid even if one of your picks does not hit. And if you want the biggest payout, go for the power play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, which means you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. You want more than on Josh Allen passing yards, rushing yards, and touchdowns. Now you can pick all 3 of them in the same Prize Picks lineup only on Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today and use promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, let's get to some keys to victory for this game this weekend. Number 1, be able to control the time of possession. This is one thing that really hurt Alabama last year in a way that while the game was going on, I didn't really think it was hurting Alabama, but then you go back and you look at the stats, and I think this is one of the main reasons why Alabama ended up losing that game last year. They only had the ball in this game for 17, almost 18 minutes. Vanderbilt had the ball for 42 minutes in that ball game last year. I thought the offense was probably a little bit too efficient in ways. They were scoring way too fast. Alabama had 9 full possessions in that game last year. They scored 5 touchdowns. They only punted twice, but they had a pick 6 and they had a fumble in that game. And I thought last week Alabama did a really good job versus Georgia, being able to control the time of possession. And I think really what it came down to was Alabama's ability to stick to the run game. They were getting 3 yards per carry. They were staying ahead of the chains. They ate up a lot of clock, and they gave their defense some time to rest, stay on the sidelines, and take a little bit longer look at those iPads, do the adjustments that they needed to do. And they also played a relatively clean football game penalty-wise as well, so they weren't behind the chains, making it 1st and 15 or anything like that. They were just moving the ball forward. That helped them out a lot. I think that can help them out a lot in this game as well. So who you guys got in this one? Type A for Alabama or V for Vanderbilt. Let me know what you guys think. I would assume if you're this far into the video, you're probably an Alabama fan. So get down there inside the comment section and spam your A's for me right now. Key to victory number 2 in this one, Alabama has got to be able to win the turnover battle. Like I said earlier, you had 2 turnovers in that game last year. You lost the turnover battle 2-0. The pick 6 at the beginning of the game, I don't really put that on Jalen Milroe. I thought he put the ball right where it needed to be. It glanced off the crown of Ryan Williams' helmet, goes straight up in the air. Vanderbilt picks it off, takes it back for 6. Now the fumble at the end of the game, that was on Jalen Milroe. Vandy ended up following that fumble, scoring a touchdown on that, very next drive. And Vandy had 14 points off of turnovers last season, and you only ended up losing the game by 5. And knock on wood, Alabama has done a very good job, great even, taking care of the football so far this season. They haven't had a turnover, whether that's interceptions or fumbles. This is going to be a very, very big key thing. And can Alabama as well just continue that trend on forcing turnovers on the defensive side of the ball as well, whether that's interceptions or, Bray Hubbard coming downfield and putting his helmet right on the football and knocking it out. Hopefully Alabama can help their offense out by keeping them out on the field this weekend. All right, key to victory number 3. The defense just locks in and halves themselves a day. I'm getting kind of tired of saying key to victory number 3, do your job on defense. But that's kind of what this is, ended up, going to be. We have struggled over the years with these specific types of offenses. We saw it last year when Vandy, went 12 for 18 on 3rd downs. You just could not get off the field on the defensive side of the ball. You got to be able to set the edge. You got to be able to fill your run gaps. Don't overrush the quarterback to be able to let Diego Pavia step up in the pocket and take off. And above all, man, I just want to see this defense swarm. I think the defense has done a good job lately in that aspect of their game. But, this game is going to be a very, very big challenge. And the offense right now for Vanderbilt, they are firing on all cylinders. And it's a little bit more evolved than it was last year. They're starting to push the ball downfield more. It's not just going to be, simple RPOs for 6 yards all day. They're going to try to hit the big plays as well. So hopefully Alabama's defense can lock in, they can do their job, and they can have themselves a day. All right, so my score prediction in this one, I'm going to go with the over on this one. I think Alabama learns from their mistakes last year, hopefully anyways, and they get the dub 42-31. I think Vanderbilt's still going to score a lot of points, but I think your offense is going to be able to score even more points in this game. So I'm going to go with Alabama, but like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm still pretty nervous for this one.